So really what I wanted to do was just mix science fiction with Africa. And that's what District 9 is.
Nobody comes back late at night anymore. They have more security.
The government noticed that they were moving into new areas. That's when things started to get out of hand.
On the surface, you can kind of just play it as, wow, that was a kick-ass action film, man, you know? And it's like, you can miss the whole social and cultural relevance and depth to it. But I think the best sci-fi always has that. It always has a deep basis, you know, some kind of deep mythical thing that's talking to you at the real deepest level, even if you miss it.
They don't belong here.
They're spending so much money to keep them here when they could be spending it on other things. At least they're keeping them separate from us.
The film, in a nutshell, I think, is about segregation. The idea of two races sort of meeting head-on and you know, the powder keg situation that provided in South Africa. You know, when I started making the film, I was very, very, very aware of the fact that if I made something that felt burdened and kind of, you know, overly political and preachy, I'd end up in not a good place for a first-time director. So I very actively decided to make a film that was satirical and really is more of a ride. It's a Hollywood journey that we take with this character, but it's set against a very serious and you know, politically charged background.
A lot of bad things started to happen.
They must just go. I don't know where they go, and they must just go.
We're at the breaking point. People are living in fear.
There's a corporation that has been tasked with providing housing and providing you know, medical aid and food and everything to these aliens. And in return for that work, they, you know, like good humans always do, go after sort of the corporate and capitalistic interests of what they can profit off of from the aliens, like all of the technology and everything else.
Yeah, I don't know. This has got the markings there of so it's definitely alien, but it's not a weapon.
On the one hand, it looks as though they're this kind of UN, you know, humanitarian service, which obviously everybody knows that they're not. And then at the same time, they're kind of reverse engineering a lot of the technology because they have the exclusive sort of patents to, you know, or the ability to patent the technology. The story is a very personal story about this guy who goes from, you know, from one side of the spectrum to the complete other side.
He has a very familiar routine. He has things that he believes, you know, the system works this way, and as long as you follow the rules, everything will work. And the sort of helpful thing, of course, is once you're dealing in District 9 and you're dealing with the creatures themselves, that really challenges everything you kind of thought you knew about how things worked.
He's sort of indirectly racist. When it really gets down to the core level, the core of his being, he actually turns out to be a good guy.
Another life form has come from somewhere else, but there's a connection there. Even though there's very different, you still couldn't put these creatures and these humans together. It's not a politically correct kind of form where, oh look, now you see we were all meant to live happily. These are very different creatures. They have very different habits and cultural beliefs. But he finds that common element, you know, he finds a common element that you might want to call it humanity. It's a common consciousness.
I just want everyone watching this to learn from what has happened.
It asks that kind of question of what do you mean? What do you mean, what am I? What do you mean? Let's not talk about that, just blow something up. You attacked and you defended and you know, in the end it's like, well, what, you know, 50,000 years later, like, what was that? You know,